It's time!
What do you guys want to talk about?
All right, here we go. Week 12 coming up. We're in it now. The Jets and the Dolphins had some Thanksgiving games, I guess. AFC East Shakedown with my guys, Kev at Sports Jedi Network, Trevor at Sports Dynasty, and Tommy at something or other. I don't know. He belongs to something. Almost forgot. Hey everybody, listen, it's I'm so tired today. My wife Christmas present was going out and looking for an oven, so I spent all day looking for ovens. So I came home and I just popped a load of chocolate in my mouth, and now I'm revved up high. But these little comments over here, man, you can see it. Bills fans and Dolphin fans, they're getting into it, getting ready for this week 18. Look at all the stuff in the sidebar. Some great stuff. Good to see all you guys. Scott over there, he's going to ready to rant. We got Beth showing up. How my belongings to the Bills. We got somebody Revo over there. Where hey Curtis, get in on this Bills talk. We got all kind of stuff. Bills literally have a harder schedule than the Dolphins, yet fans are worried. Man, it's going to get heated up, and if the Bills can somehow win tomorrow, man, it's going to get exciting. But what's not been so exciting, and I guess we'll get into off the bat, is the Jets. Dolphins and Jets yesterday.
Well, let's go with the Curtis. Let's start with last week. Might as well go with.
Of course, you want to go last week.
Let's go with last week. We did. Hey, just say it. Let's start with the.
All right. So the Jets went against who did they go against last week? The Phils, the Zills.
The Cowboys of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. They totally beat us. There is no excuse with this team. The New York Jets are trending in the wrong direction. This is something we've seen last year under Coach Saleh. Instead of ascending to being a better team, you go on a 3-game winning streak, but you don't change nothing. You're still committing holding penalties after the play penalties in neutral zone. They're acting like tough guys, picking fights there. Good job on Buffalo to push back on the players of the Jets, getting into it and rubbing them in their face. Pretty much the defense quit. You saw there was a business decision there between the corners and allow that touchdown to get the game out of hand with the secondary. The Jets totally destroyed themselves, and Buffalo took advantage of it. They right now in just end the season mode. If you're a Jet fan, you're thinking you had a hope here with this game, not just a Buffalo, but okay, we still have redemption because everyone in the AFC and their mother don't want a playoff game. And here we go again, big Black Friday game coming up, and they laid an egg. They were worse than the Thanksgiving jelly roll that that put out that no one wants to touch. So my God, they were terrible. And kudos to Buffalo. They made no mistakes on that game. at Josh Allen. I guess he wasn't in baking mode. He was more, in salad, cutting salad. He was on a diet maybe because he didn't want to do any turnovers. And they did a good job. They forced the Jets on turnover the football, self-inflicted mistakes. And you know what? But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not impressed with Brady and the offensive calling. It was just a bad Jet team that you caught off guard. They just suck. So your real test is going to be this weekend. So don't be like Coach Sala and use Colgate to brush your teeth with the smiles you're putting up, because you're going to find out this weekend if it's going to be the true test for you guys, Buffalo. So we'll find out what Quinn does there. And also yesterday, Curtis, first and foremost, I do want to apologize to all or feel bad and sympathy with all you guys with your pass rusher Phillips going down on our terrible field. Jesus Christ, is the Jet field, MetLife, horrible. Another player goes down, and also your offensive lineman. Also, did he return? I know he left before halftime.
No, but we don't know. It's Tehran. It's Tehran and Cotton went out. Tehran went out with a quad, and Cotton had some injuries. If it's long term for Tehran, that's gonna be bad. But I don't know. He's funny like that. He can come right back. He got 9-day rest, so maybe he'll play. I got to see how bad it was, but we went down like flies at a certain point.
Boy, but what an embarrassment. First ever Black Friday game. The nation, the world, the country's watching, and then we lay that egg there. My God. The defense again play well, but I don't know, Curtis. I like your thoughts on this, because you see it in a different. You have like a all 22 type of eyeball lens, maybe because your beat writer days. But Hackett did nothing to help Boyle move or what did I see different in offense? I saw the same crap when even with Zach.
He's got no creativity. He's got no creativity. You just had to get the ball out quick, and his route I got to look at the old 22, but his route combinations are kind of lame. I kind of predicted what he was going to do. It was just some of it, with Boyle, he hasn't played a lot. I got to see an old 22. I haven't seen the old 22, but I just don't feel like Hackett is anything special. I think his specialness comes from, hey, I got this like vanilla thing. Let me hand it off to Rodgers. Rodgers goes to the line of scrimmage, and then he spices it up and makes Hackett look like he could do something, So I think that's really the deal,
I was saying that on the Swatch I say, there's nothing wrong with a nice vanilla ice cream, but sometimes you want to throw a little chocolate sauce, sprinkles, strawberries, cut in some bananas, something different, And yesterday they finally threw to the tight end on a slant. But when was the last time the Jets ever, besides the Dallas Cowboys game, they get a wide receiver to get in the slant, get the football 8 yards in the slant, let him pick up the other 2 yards after the catch, get a first down? You don't see no creativity with the slant. You also see, and I was envying your play calling when you see you had Waddle or you had Hill coming across, they'll flip it to him and they take it up and run. You got speed burners on this team. A person who's sitting at home in his couch could come up with a better offensive game plan, than what we see there. I don't get it. Why not try that? Why not? They say this is a copycat league. Why not take the best of everybody, a little bit of everything, and incorporate it with your personnel? It's like they're at the facility all week just in catering, and eating the vegan pasta, the no gluten crap, brushing their teeth with Colgate, and they're not in there and attacking the game plan or fitting an offense to your personnel. It is week 11 prior to yesterday, and you still haven't come up on offense that is not for Aaron Rodgers. You need to cater your team for the personnel that you have on the field. Easy out of Bakanda should have gotten some touches yesterday. If Breece Hall didn't feel motivated or didn't feel like running the football, there's young, hungry kids that want to play and make a name for themselves. You put them in there to play. Look, Jason Brownlee had a couple of catches. He didn't drop it. He didn't do an Allen Lazard. He didn't have butterfingers. He wasn't eating popcorn before getting on the field with slick fingers. He was catching the football. He's a big target, big kid who could catch the football. Give it to people who are motivated, that want to play. And forget about all the prima donnas that doesn't want to play on the team, that are doing business decision, Curtis, and move on. And I think that's and what I'm looking for, Curtis, from here on out as the Jets, I want to see who wants to play for next season and beyond, and who's making business decisions. And I hope they see that and they move on.
Well, for me, just watching it, look, McDaniel, I think, has got some great talent. He's got Tua, he's got Hill, Waddle, and even you get Teron in there, you got Connor, you didn't have Hunt, but you've got to have some kind of offensive line. Offensive line, you don't need the top 5 to be successful, but you need a certain floor to get everything off that. And the less the floor is, the better you have to be as a OC, the better you have to be as a QB. And, the better QBs and OCs will take that higher floor of the offensive line and take it to a higher level. I just think it's a combination of Hackett is a vanilla guy who just puts a framework and organizes everything and then hands it off to Rodgers, and he can't do it on his own. But then when you don't have an offensive line, and QB, then you get exposed. He is an average to slightly below average offensive coordinator, maybe even below average offensive coordinator. And so I just think that's the deal. Because even with McDaniel, I like McDaniel. I think he makes some mistakes. But he's in a lot of talent. But you can see how that offensive line holds him down at times. You just need something decent, So I think it's a combination. I just, but if Rodgers goes down, then this is what you're going to get. Look what he did in Denver.
Yeah, but also, Curtis, I want to give a kudos to your team. You might not be the strongest offensive line, maybe, or whatever, but he moves them. I saw a lot of your offensive line shift, the move, going and lead a lot of blockers. The Jets guys, they stay stationary. They look like they're wearing Julius Randle's Skechers out on the field that they can't move for shit.
Well, what the thing is? Look, last year we had 2.66 time to throw, and that is like. That's still like top 10 almost, but it's like 10-ish. And we had trouble blocking. So this year, McDaniel altered things and changed things. We got the ball out yesterday at 2.17. It's unbelievable. That's part of it's Tua's release. Part of it's the speed of the receivers. Part of it's McDaniel's ability. But all this was designed to compensate a poorer offensive line. That's why they didn't invest so much. And that's called coaching. Yep.
And I don't think that's happening in Florham Park. I hate to say that.
No, well, you can't hack. He's a hack.
Just imagine a gumbo of a Hackett with a couple of shaky bones.
Shaky bones and Hackett, man. They could start like the Mount Rushmore of failure. Speaking of shaky bones, come on, Tommy. Give us your take on your Bills giving the Jets the Y&Y4s. What was it, 32-6 or something?
32-6. So,
don't you see he has it plastered on the wall there?
Man. It's our Super Bowl. Absolutely not. So, listen, that game should have been like week 1. Let's be real. When Rodgers went down week 1,
I agree.
We should have never lost that game. But, it is what it is. We can't go back in time. But this game here was what we should have done the first time around with a better offensive play caller, obviously, and Joe Brady, who, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say Joe Brady is the man. He's the best OC in the league. Like, I got to see. One game is not enough, right? I need to see more. But this was a test, and I will say it didn't start great. I thought, the turnover early for the Jets was devastating for them. But we only got a field goal out of it. Like, you got to capitalize better than field goals. We had 3 field goals to start the game. But what I liked about Buffalo's offense is Joe Brady eventually, he did some in-game adjustments. He went away from what the Jets were waiting for, which is Stephon Diggs, forcing the ball to Stephon Diggs, forcing the ball downfield to Gabe Davis. We went to different players that the Jets really weren't prepared to see. Ty Johnson. Like, honestly, I don't know much about Ty Johnson. He's an okay player. I saw some of his stats when he was with the Jets. But will he have another breakout performance kind of like that or have a big – probably not. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like the Jets weren't prepared for that, for Ty Johnson getting the ball there. Same with Khalil Shakir. Now, Khalil Shakir, though, is a good player. I just don't think the Jets
been talking about him a while, Tommy.
Yeah, I do since his rookie year, but I just don't think the Jets were prepared for him to be, the primary receiver or the big, the threat in that game. And kudos to Joe Brady and Josh Allen for trusting him and getting him the ball. As far as the defense goes, I told you guys that, listen, the Jets offense was terrible, and I knew that was going to go that way. As long as the offense of the Bills did their job, the Bills were going to win that game. And they certainly did. And I feel bad for the Jets defense. I do. I mean, honestly, they kept them in the game as long as they could. But eventually you could see that defense just giving up. And saying,
they
what?
They 22 22 a game.
Yeah.
I think 22
the time of
possession.
Yeah, the time possession last week was terrible for them. Time possession this week against the Dolphins was just as bad. You can't win games like that. We have 4 turnovers to their 1. By the way, the Josh Allen turnover, it was just stupid on Sean McDermott. Why call that there? It could have been a return for a touchdown. It's very similar to the Jets Hail Mary against the Dolphins.
Hail Mary.
Yeah, not a smart thing to do. Yeah, just but other than that, I thought Josh played a clean game. He took what the defense was giving him, and that's it. Now, like I said, our real test is coming, obviously, against the Eagles. But do they have a better defense than the Jets? I would say no. I think their run defense is good, but their pass defense is towards the bottom of the league. So I think the Jets defense was a bigger test for Joe Brady, though the Philadelphia Eagles are obviously a well-rounded team compared to the Jets. So that's what will make this game interesting coming up, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, man, I thought it was, like I said, man, for Joe Brady to come out short week and to go against that defense and do what he did, you got to give him a little credit. He did a lot of motions, by the way, more motions than we did pre-snap motions. He got the running backs involved. I think they had like 27 carries, something crazy like that. So it's good to see. So that's my thought on the game.
Hey, Trevor, come on. Tell us what you think about the New York Jets against the Bills.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, I couldn't help it, man. You took my favorite player. I had to give you a little zing.
Well, first and foremost, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm surprised that the score wasn't worse than what it was there. Yes, obviously the Jets defense held their own. And I agree. They definitely – I think when Josh Allen, I'm sorry, not Josh Allen, Zach Wilson do that interception, he's trying to throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. I realized, yeah. At that point, the entire team just quit. At that point, in my opinion, it's just that it felt like no matter what we did, it felt like it's always some bullshit going on over and over again. And about time for Salah benching Zach Wilson, but you're like 3 weeks too late. So it's like, okay, now what? So now for this game, Tim Boyle, obviously we're really not sure what you've seen Tim Boyle before the game because we don't see him play before. So having him go on the fly with Hackett's offense, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't see what the Jets seeing him whatsoever. I think that they're so afraid of Aaron Rodgers of pissing him off that they'll keep him. There's no end. I didn't see the difference in the offense whatsoever with Zach Wilson or Tim Boyle because
I think it was worse.
Bad. It was equally bad.
I believe so too.
It was pretty
terrible.
bad.
The loss of Becton really hurt that offense, though. I mean, like that Becton missing was
I will say this though. Compared to like Boyle and Wilson, though Wilson is terrible in my opinion, but Wilson at least has a decent arm. Boyle's arm looks awful. I mean he had no arm strength whatsoever. That Hail Mary was disgusting.
Was short.
Short, gross. He couldn't even make the tackle on the guy. Embarrassing. But I think he averaged 4.3. My God, per throw. Terrible. Everything was dinking and dunking. They didn't trust him to go deep because maybe he doesn't have the arm to go deep. I think that was listen, you can't go back to Wilson. Third string. It's over with. So I kept telling Kev, because I was watching the game with him. He was doing a live stream. I'm like, why? I get it. Maybe it looks bad if you go to Simeon, but who gives a shit? Who cares? Go to him anyway. What do you got to lose, Salah, at this point?
He should have been the quarterback anyway. He should have been the one elevated.
Do
My
anything.
issue,
You know? Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Trevor.
My issue, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I mentioned that it's like, so basically what you're trying to say is like, okay, no matter what the quarterback they put there, they have still going to call the same type of plays if Aaron Rodgers was there. So it's like, how can you be a good offensive coordinator if you can't adapt to the play? If you can't adapt to the personnel you have. None of those quarterbacks are even close to Aaron Rodgers' level, right? So if he was such a, I don't know what, know what it is. I think because Dave Hackett is a yes man for Aaron Rodgers. That's why he wants to keep him there. He's a yes man. He won't challenge him. If he notices the play is terrible, he'd be like, all right, this is terrible. I'm gonna go to the line of scrimmage and change it, and then make him look good, stuff like that. But other than that, it's just sad because this defense is really good. I like Sauce Gardner. I like Sauce Gardner. I like Quinn Williams. I think Quinn Williams is great. I think this defense is great. But what's the point if the offense is gonna let you down every single week? It's like come on, like what's the point? But me personally, I think the quarterback move was 3 weeks too late. It's not gonna make much of a difference. I think the Jets season is over. I think they really much punted on the season. But I agree with Kevin as far as because Breece Hall obviously I don't like him, but he's complaining about getting touches and stuff like that. But you can tell that he's not in it right now. The season's over, but put people in there who want to get chances to play, and start them. And, see what you got over there. Because only thing you can do is wait for next year because they're not going to the playoffs. The season's over. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is just try to evaluate the next 6 weeks and see what you got from there. But right now, I don't know, honestly, because the name Hackett is awful. And Robert Saleh, I do agree, has earned himself one more year, but depending on how it ends. But I do think that he earned himself another year. Even though it were me, I would have fired him already. But
yeah,
right,
that's why
hold on, Kev, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here in half an hour. So let's get your take on Jets versus Dolphins, and we'll finish up.
8 minutes.
Absolutely. No, real quick on that one. Salah's not going anywhere because they bought that season of the Rodgers being hurt. And listen, if they lose out, and they're losing by over 30 points, and you could see the team totally gave up on him, then I could see where the Johnsons might make a move. If they lose again to Atlanta, just think if they lose to Atlanta 34-17 or 14, and then they go again, then the buzzers will be rolling. But I don't think he's going anywhere. No, he's still got one more year. I think, Roy. I think they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, but I think they have one more year of Wilson. But at this point, just cut him and let him go, Roy. You don't bring him back. They should have done it now. They should have cut him there and. The game yesterday with the Dolphins, it was early, just typical Jets fashion, holding good offenses into field goal where they could have up, like, oh my God. I kept saying it on the stream. This game could easily be 17-0, 14-0, 21-0. But the fact is only 6-0. Kudos to the Jet defense working hard there. And then when they went and they get that pick 6 off of Tua, and it's a 10-6, and they miss, of course, typical Jet fashion. They're going to mix the extra point kick instead of make, so I'm like, oh, great. You know what? Very nice. Someone's been drinking a little bit too much eggnog. And I go, here we go. But then all you got to do, Hail Mary, but throw it to the end zone, not short where you're going to, it was like a running punt for the you
want to get it in on a Hail Mary, because somebody mentioned it was high art. It don't matter. Listen, on a Hail Mary, you want to get it in the end zone because it's more than likely it's going to either get batted down or whatever, or or intercepted in the end zone, but tackled in the end zone.
Right.
Short, you're gonna have a wide open field because everyone's in the end zone.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happened there. There was only offensive lineman back, so it was an awful throw. It's a 45.
It was disaster.
But I don't even get the call. Why do a Hail Mary there?
Well,
it makes no sense. Going to halftime, you got an interception.
They weren't getting the football back. Miami was getting the football back. Now, if let's say you complete the Hail Mary and then you stun Miami going into the half with Phillips down, you had Cotton gone back to and then a couple guys down and you're taking the lead. And Miami starts getting, and Miami has a reputation of getting tight against winning teams, although the Jets are not a winning team record-wise. But maybe they thought they were trying to get into the psychological aspect.
Yeah, but I think
you can't do that. Can't play
Kev,
that.
I think they already. if they got the interception on Tua late,
I agree
right?
with you.
That is your turning point. You go into halftime with a turnover on Tua, 10-6. I think the momentum, even though the offense isn't doing so great, it's already going, damn, look at that. It's 10-6. We fucking just picked off Tua. You know, Tua's not even happy now going to halftime. He just threw an interception. It's psychological a little bit too, right?
I agree.
But instead, you throw an interception to the house, touchdown. Now Tua's all smiles. Teams, the momentum totally shifted back to Miami. Boom! I thought the game was over right there. When that happened, game over.
Yeah, and that was a bad thing about it. They gave them they opened the door right back in. If and again, if that was Zach Wilson, the arm strength is much more stronger. Would have been to the end zone. And who knows what the hell happened?
He did it 2 weeks ago.
I think that was the coaching forgetting about who they had on the field. And all this thing about Boyle knows all the verbiage, 3 years in the system, knows the system. He poops the system. Well, if that was the way he poops that system, oh my God, somebody give him a Motor AD because he stinks.
Yeah, he was bad. I think he had 24 yards at one point in going in that or something.
Terrible.
It was terrible.
Terrible. Oh.
All right,
well,
Chris, you want to get into his predictions for
to
go in 5?
Yeah, get the prediction here. I'll give my little 2 cents.
Yes, yeah. The reason why we're changing a little bit because I'm going to do the WWE Survivor Series, so I'm going to be leaving a little early. So just wanted to give that note. It's like,
He's cheating on us.
Why are we going catering a lot of the Jets talk? Because I'm about to leave in about 5 minutes to prep for my live stream on my channel. So that's why. So I want to thank everyone in the chat. So thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. Keep supporting the program. Keep hitting those likes. Don't let the Jets end the season, because you guys can still continue trolling us here on the AFC Shakedown. Now, my prediction here: the Eagles, Bills. This is gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a fun game of the weekend. To see these two Titans go at it, back and forth. This is in Philadelphia. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough task for Buffalo to come out and win because Philly is an animal, a beast at home, especially with Jalen Hurts and company. Now I know you said that the Eagles are not the Jets defense, but here's one thing: when you don't have to be on the field more than 20 minutes playing time, that's when the Philadelphia defense looks much more advanced than the Jets defense because they're going to be shorter stints on the field. So I like Philadelphia to win this game here barely, 24-28, 1 point victory over the Eagles will come out on top because it's going to be something like that kind of a game. It's going to be really close. I don't think turnovers. It's just who has the football at the right time and makes the right plays. It comes down to. So I kind of like that. That's going to be good there. And hopefully there's no injuries. Hopefully again no injuries for that. And then for the Giants and Patriots in the toilet bowl series there.
Bowl, yeah.
Don't worry, we'll be joining you at the porta potty bowl soon, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Look, I am a big fan of Tommy DeVito. I think DeVito beats the Patriots. I think the Giants are on a roll, man. I think DeVito is gonna I think it's gonna be like 17-6 Giants win that game.
Shout out to Tommy DeVito living at home still with his parents, by the way.
He's saving
hey,
money.
Mama, where's the lasagna? Huh?
Mama does the laundry on Wednesday. He came to practice late because his mother was still drying his clothes. So he had to go to practice late.
Is that a good
Serious. I wonder if she packs a sack lunch. If she puts it on a brown paper bag or they use Tupperware. What do you think?
It's unbelievable.
Definitely Tupperware.
Tupperware, man.
Definitely.
You gotta like DeVito, the Jersey kid. We used to prosciutto and the gabagool, and you know what I mean.
Gabagoo.
Yeah.
Gabagoo.
If he throws 3 touchdowns, Mama gives you a cannoli. How you like that?
Unreal, man.
But anyways, Curtis, Tommy, Trevor, I'll see you next week, guys. I'm gonna go
I'll talk to you, Kev.
Thanks, Kev.
Everyone in the chat, please hit that like button. First and foremost, hit the like button. Subscribe here to Ace Per Head. We'll be at Mafia Sports Report next week, and so forth and so forth. So may the sports be with you. May everyone be with you, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Be good, Kev. See you next week, brother.
See you, Kev.
All
right. So because I've got a brain like moths to a fire, where are we at now? Are we supposed to go back to
last week. So let's get to the Dolphins.
Well, hold on, let me finish up. Let me finish up so we can.
Oh, did you want to talk about your? Yeah, the
Dolphins,
I
want to finish up. I want to. The Dolphins Jets.
Yeah.
Now,
go for
it. I had this weird vision of the Dolphins when they were playing the Jets. I could just see the Dolphins defense was like those guys in the club and baby seals against the Jets offense. And really, it kind of the evaluations, you can't draw in a straight line to other things because that offense is probably like an average college team at best. But I liked my Dolphins to able to go into a foreign territory on a short week. I liked what they were doing early. There was some things I didn't like. I think McDaniel, he needs to learn how to be. Sometimes you just kick the field goal. Sometimes you just take the knee and you go to the half. But on the good side, we got that ball out of 2.17 seconds. Now the Jets, they don't blitz a lot, but they only blitzed, I think, 4 times the whole game.
They don't have to.
But we got it out so quick. I think that they were playing a lot of over coverage, too high safety, which they have a tendency to do, but I think they even did it more because they knew that offense couldn't generate anything. But I liked my Dolphins had no offensive line, still better than the Jets, but we handled our business. I think Tua, the pick where he threw for the pick six, it's got to stop, but there was pressure there. Teron let the pressure in. And I just don't think I think McDaniel sometimes gets too aggressive and it hurts it hurts Tua a little bit. But I think they're going to grow through. You can pull out the win and you can learn and all that. The biggest thing, though, I got to talk about is Jalen Phillips, man. If you don't know who Jalen Phillips is, the guy, he comes from this beautiful family. They serve the poor. He was out of football because he got hurt so bad in college. He kind of got talked back into it. Went back in and he just showed himself to be unbelievable, made it to the pros, got drafted at a high position, and he was on a launch position to do some amazing things. And you can see this guy, he plays music, he's super smart. And to see that knee, you see his face crying, holding his hands up there. It's terrible. I don't know if it's a turf or not, but it's such a crappy thing. This guy is as good a person and a talented football player as you want. And no matter what happens, the Dolphins are diminished going forward. Now, I don't think it's going to cripple them. I like Van Ginkel. I was one of the fewer Dolphin fans or talking heads of the Dolphins that like Van Ginkel, and he's shown himself to be pretty good. But this Dolphins defense has risen to a certain point with Chubb and Jalen Phillips on the outside, and you take Phillips out of there, and now you can start shifting those doubles elsewhere. And it's going to put more pressure on this offensive line. But this kid's so great. It sucks that, whatever you got out of the victory, which I thought was substantial, to eliminate the jest, to give him the blackest Friday ever. But to lose Phillips, that is a big deal. And he's just the kind of guy that you got to love. I don't really get that heartstring thing anymore. It's been a long time. Cameron Wake was the last one. But this kid is phenomenal, and it just sucks. So I just wanted to say that. But overall, I thought my Dolphins did good. They ran the football. I still think there's problems on the offensive line. But the only thing that's not correctable is the loss of Jalen Phillips. And I think that's going to help all the teams' causes against us, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. Welcome to the injury club. Because, listen, I do feel bad for you. I would be one, there's a lot of people out there, Bills fans or any fan, be like, I don't feel bad for you. Look at what we are gone through. But I do. It sucks. Anytime you get one of your, better players hurt, star players, that's devastating. And hey, we all know all about it. The Buffalo Bills Mafia. We lost 3 superstars this year, in my opinion. And so I get it. It sucks, but it's football, man, and they got to change that turf crap, man. It was an Achilles. That's the second one on that turf. MetLife has been known to have one of the worst turf fields in the NFL. They changed it this season, but it seems like it's just as bad, if not worse. So, but I gotta say something. Tua lately, for as much heat as Josh Allen has been getting for the turnovers, interceptions, Tua has 10. I mean, it's not like he's far off from the 13 of a Josh Allen. He's up there.
It's all hype. Look, the whole Josh Allen and Tua thing is all hype.
I get it. I'm just throwing that out there because a lot of fans, Curtis, they like to throw that out there. Like, it's sometimes it's not always the quarterback's doing or fault, right? But fans only see the stats. They don't see they don't see really what happened in the game or the big pitch, the big picture, behind why some of these quarterbacks have these turnovers. But either way, I'm just throwing that out there. So,
Yeah, well, listen, this is the thing. Honestly, I don't take this the wrong way, but I really take football as a science. I study it like all the time. And when you really study the game and you come from it from a person who's trying to present like good information, you can see how bad the mass media especially is. The voices on Twitter generally are. It's all this bloviation, hyperbole that's not rooted in the context of what it takes to actually do the things that they're talking about. When you got a guy like Josh Allen and you got a guy like Tua, and they're throwing highly vertical and they're under duress and they're asked to continually throw vertical and they have the kind of nature, which is a gunslinger, you get this. My Dolphin fans, Dan Marino threw some of the most ridiculous picks, but it was always the receiver's fault. I just want to let that be known.
Oh,
But it's the nature. It's the nature. I mean, when you have like a 3-foot window and you attack that window and you make that unbelievable play, it's the same spirit that gets these turnovers. But, you have to play it out, like how many turnovers are when it happen. To me, Josh Allen is a darn good quarterback and a darn good kid who had a poor framework around him for the last couple of years. Hopefully it'll get better for him. Tua had a terrible framework, but then he had a framework where he was asked to go vertical last year, and the offensive line couldn't protect him the way he should, and he got the snot beat out of him. Then he came back this year. They made adjustments, and now he's got to the point. He's going to throw some picks. It's just the way it is. All these guys,
right?
You watch every single one of them. Look at Mahomes.
That's my point, Kurt. That's my point. That is my point. My point is a lot of these fans want to, and I don't know what it is, but they go for one player. Josh Allen happens to be the one guy that other fan bases love to point at.
Same with Tua.
I think Allen gets the most heat, though. I think
it's a media style. It's a media style.
I understand. I'm just saying. I think Allen, for the most part, I think he gets the most.
No, Tua was the
throwing at.
Listen, Allen for the first 2 or 3 years was the whipping boy of the NFL voice. 100%, and then he became the guy, and then they would say, oh, well, maybe he's not good enough. But during that time, Tua was the whipping boy. And then now this year, Tua became the golden child, and then now Allen's become the whipping boy. But they're waiting for Tua to get his turn, too.
I don't know if I ever, even when
Dak too. Dak's another one up there.
You're right, Dak Prescott, But I don't know if I ever doubted his play. I think I doubted more his ability to stay on the field. You know what I mean?
But you and I are different. The general voice that you get from Twitter and the media is totally different than a sane person, the normal person. You know?
Yeah,
this is like,
I get you. But going back on the game, Curtis, I thought the Jets defense did exactly what they did against the Bills early on, and I felt like as the game went on, and as the time of possession, was starting to go to one side drastically, you saw the defense just starting to break down, get tired, kind of give up in a way. And they did all they can. Quit. And eventually you just can't rely on your defense week in, week out to keep you in games. It's not going to work that way. I'm going to tell you right now, that Jets team, if they don't fix their shit, those defensive players, those star players are going to want out eventually.
Oh, totally.
Sign somewhere else. Yeah, and then they're right back to square one. I don't know how that they're going to fix it. but that's not on us. So
either
way,
Trevor,
that game was up. Yeah, go ahead.
Trevor, who do you think is the most vilified or the pinata for as far as quarterbacks go? Give me your top 3.
Dak Prescott's number 1. Josh Allen, and now Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a machine right now. I think as far as turning the ball over, especially I think Dak's the number 1. Dak probably gets the worst in everybody.
You think he gets the most junk out of everybody?
Yeah. I think Dak gets the worst out of all of them. Josh,
you think 2 is in there at all?
2 is up there too, but lately, especially early on in his career, especially on this year, but it's definitely Dak. Definitely Dak.
Dak's looking really good, man. I was watching that Dallas team on Thanksgiving. That defense was going through that the opposing front, the Commanders front, and that's a good front, man. Like nobody's business.
They fired.
Rivera's taking over.
He's next. Rivera's next.
Yeah. We played him this week. All right, so let's get back to last week. Take a look at last week. Let's get Trevor in there.
Yeah. No, they were on a bye. Patriots.
Yeah, you want to buy? What do you think about? Let's see. I was Raiders Dolphins, man. Come on, this is the on ace per head, man. We got to talk some Dolphins. I get so busy being fair and talking to you guys, I stick it to myself. Let's talk Miami Dolphins, who have the lead in the AFC East by what was it? 1.5, Tommy?
1.5, I believe it is.
1.5. It's close to 2, though, Tommy. That's close to 2.
It is. But we still play. We play each other in week 18. Y'all still got a couple decent games left. Cowboys are going to be. That's not an easy.
Let's not talk about that. We want happy feelings. I don't know how long the happy feeling is going to last, Tommy. Let's not talk about that. We got Raiders last week, we won, and the Jets this week, we won. It's happy times. What do you think, Trevor, about that?
I think, the Raiders game, though, they got 2 wins against the Giants and Jets back-to-back, but Antonio Pierce, the interim coach there, which is great for them. But let's be honest, the Raiders are still a bad team. It's still a bad team. Aiden O'Connell is still a rookie quarterback. Which we've seen before. He's going to make mistakes. And the Dolphins did what they had to do to make it uncomfortable. It took a while, but at the end of the day, the Dolphins ended up winning that game pretty convincingly, as we thought they would. Like I said, you can only play who's on the schedule. So, me personally, they kind of remind me of Dallas. They beat the hell out of bad teams and then struggled to good teams. But at the end of the day, a win's a win. You can play on the schedule. But I'm very interested in how they fare towards the end of their schedule. The next 6 games, the next 3 games is pretty easy. You have the Commanders, Titans, and then you have the Jets one more time.
Jets, Jets, go Jets.
So I expect them to beat the hell out of them, but it's the last 3 games that will really show me who Miami really is. Right now, I think that's fair. Yeah, I haven't really been really giving Miami their spell. Listen, they play who they play, but to me, what I've seen so far, when they play quality opponents, they either struggle, lose, and struggle. I mean, they won all 3 of them, but I want to see how they fare towards the end of the season. So, right now, I expect them to win this game. So,
yeah, I was like, I can't type and function. Too many things. One thing guy. All right, so you're gonna think they're gonna beat the Commanders this week, the Dolphins?
Yeah, yes. I think they'll win the next 3 games.
Trevor, man, listen, your Pats are going down. My Dolphins are going up. Why doesn't Trevor join the Fins? I get you some nice gear.
No.
Come on over.
I don't look too good in teal. I'm sorry. I don't look too good in teal and orange. Nah.
I don't either. I look like I don't know. Anyway, so the green's better for me. So anyway, all right. So this week, I guess that's the end of last week's game, or what else, Tommy? What else we got?
I gotta say real quick, because I didn't talk about that Raiders Dolphins. I gotta say,
yeah, Tommy, hold on. Wait, Tommy, wait. Hold on, Tommy.
Why, you totally got rid of Trevor? I have no idea what happened, but I'm by myself. So
come on, talk. You got a solo moment here, dude.
Why'd you get rid of my boy Trevor?
Because we want you to talk Dolphins victory.
But Trevor's not
interruption.
Even here. All right, sure. Okay, so listen, I told y'all last week I thought the Dolphins were gonna beat up on the Raiders, but I also said the bye week you can come out a little rusty, and I felt and you could see the Dolphins came out rusty in that game, 20-13. They should have won that game 30-13 in my opinion. Tua didn't have the greatest day, one interception, though he came on strong at the end. But 20-13, listen, guys, that's closer than what you want. But a win is a win, and they got the job done. So there you go.
Oh, man, I felt like you begrudgingly
talked
about it.
Curtis? What do you think, Curtis? You think that was you think you guys had like that bye week kind of struggle, that like, hangover, bye week hangover?
You're talking about against the Raiders, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I got 2 wins. I can't remember which one. I'm got so many wins here to keep winning. No, the Raiders, listen, the Raiders game was very, very tough. We had a weak front. We have 2 guys that shouldn't be starting at guard. And, to me, Jackson's gotten better, but he still struggles. And that's a great front. They played a great defensive game plan. And I thought that it was a good win for us because they're a very tough team. They had everything to play for. They came in and played it hard. I would like us to win better, but I can't judge my Dolphins team till I have Teron, Connor, and Hunt. Because you look at the Jets, and yeah, it's easy to make fun of them, but that offensive line is like the 45th best offensive line in football. I had that in 2021. And so to me, it was a good win. It was a needed win. We could have lost it at the end, but we pulled it out through our defense. McDaniel continued to run the football. And I could say the same thing this week. To me, it's not whether the Dolphins could beat a good team. They can. It's whether that offense could beat a good defense. And that's the only real concern I have. But it's not about Tua. It's not about the receivers. It's about that offensive line and what McDaniel has to do to protect it. He brings extra guys in. He runs tons of play actions. He has to run the quick pass. All this stuff is to offset when he has problems on the offensive line. But it constricts that offense, and this is an offense-driven team. So I was proud of both wins. I thought those were much needed wins. These are teams that we would have dropped the ball to years ago. And so I'm happy, but I don't see that as like, oh, we're going to win, against Dallas or the Bills or Ravens. Those are different evaluations. The Raiders, because of how bad the offense is, and Jets because of how bad the offense is. You have to put rabbit ears on it. But in those rabbit ears, I say I am very damn happy because we would have dropped that in other seasons. So we were 8-3 now. We're 8-3 last year. Let's see what happens going forward.
Yeah, no doubt. I was just curious what you thought about the hangover, the bye week hangover. But
McDaniel's kind of like men's on the bye week. But it's just a tough team. That defense, look, people sometimes forget matchups. You got a bad offensive line and not an ultra elite mobile quarterback, and you got a good front and a good secondary. It makes it very, very hard to have success.
I think they're playing for their coach a little bit better, obviously, since the change. The spark for the Raiders, that helped as well. But I still think overall, I still think that you guys are a superior team than to lay out 20 points. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I think the bye week hangover had a little to play with, had a little to deal with.
Yeah, but if I said when my lead up, I said it was going to be a lot like these Patriots games. If you look at the Raiders, they reproed the week 2 formula. You play over high coverage. You keep everything in front. You don't blitz. And then you keep those easy throws down. And then that forces the offense to have to run you out of that coverage. And we couldn't because we lacked the offensive line to do it. And so it always comes down to, not always, but for this Dolphins framework, is that offensive line. When you got Tehran, Connor, and Hunt, it's going to, like, we broke open the game against the Patriots with an inside run for 40 yards for a touchdown. But that was with Connor and Hunt doing it together. You pull Hunt out, Connor, Tehran, and this offensive line limits everything. So that's my take.
By the way, real quick, Jose, Juan should be back, and I believe in a couple weeks. So he had like something to do or whatever, but he'll be back in a couple weeks to finish out the season, and then we have some news that will break down Week 18. Not news, but we have an update about the podcast, and we'll talk about that Week 18. So some changes coming up, but we'll talk about that Week 18.
All right, cool. All right, so now we're done with the prior week. Now we're back into this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we finished the Dolphins talk. Unless you guys want to keep on talking Dolphins talk.
Nah,
that's
fucking.
No.
You already put
very
me on
good.
You already put me on a full screen.
I'll send you a mug in the back.
First of all, put me back on the full screen. You put me on a full screen. Go ahead. I talk about your garbagey ass Dolphins, Miami Dolphins. You froze me up. I look like a rookie out here because I just hate your Dolphins. If you want to put me back on full screen, I want to say how shitty your Miami Dolphins are, how much I hate your fucking team. And there we go. All right, let's continue. All right, go ahead.
All right, Tom.
But I love
you.
Yeah,
you tell me all the time. You're like, I'm, in another life, in an alternate reality.
Hey, I respect Dan Marino, though.
You grew up in Florida, man.
Oh, which makes it worse. Oh,
all right, here we go. The game of the week. Let's talk the game of the week. This is probably, to me, this is one of the most fascinating games of the week. Patriots Giants. Trevor, take it over, baby.
Yes. This is must see TV from the trash can, because that's exactly where we are. The trash. This is the 2023 shit bowl between my New England Patriots and the New York Giants. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am all in for Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the guy that I want. If we can get a quarterback in the draft, great. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is a grown-ass man among children in college over here in Ohio State. And though I am hoping that we lose this game against the Giants, something tells me we're not going to lose this game against the Giants. Why? Why is that, you ask? Tommy DeVito, though, what he did last week against the Washington Redskins last week was impressive, somewhat, I guess. The Redskins are really bad. The Washington Redskins are really, really
Redskins.
bad. You're saying the name that shall not be named.
Oh, you're getting demonetized.
Oh, damn.
Good. Your credit rating is now dropped.
Washington is a really bad football team, so I don't expect Danny DeVito. I'm sorry, Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito.
Danny
DeVito. He's out there selling some Jimmy Johns? Or no, Mike Jersey Mike's? Hey.
I don't expect Tommy DeVito to do that again. First of all, I think Belichick, whenever he played the Giants and like team, he's the coach back in the day. He takes these games personal. I think he's gonna take this shit game very personal, and he's gonna have his best defensive showing as far as our defense is going to show against this really bad Giants offense. Let's be honest, this offense is really bad, and even though we are really bad offensively, even our defense, even at its worst, or even at 30% at full health, could still beat the Giants. That's why I think the Giants are going to lose. That's why I think the Patriots will win this game. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. I think the Giants,
I'm loving it. I want you to go on a nice 5-game tear.
The problem is, I know a lot of the fan base want us to tank, and they want us to first of all, Matt Jones is awful, and we're done with him.
Somebody was saying, is Mac Jones benched? Collins, Roy.
No, he's probably gonna play tomorrow. He's not going to play tomorrow.
he
More
is.
likely.
Wow. All right. That's surprising.
Because the fact of the matter is, because I think that he wants to stick it to the Giants for some reason. I don't know why. This is 2007 was like 15 years ago. Let it go. I mean, I'm not over it, but whatever.
He's a bitter man. Bitter man.
Clearly, and he's very, very stubborn too. Now again, oh man, the Patriots are going to end up winning this game. They're going to win this game, but Matt Jones is going to start tomorrow.
A second. We're talking Marino here. I got to answer this one.
Hey, Marino. Isotone gloves.
Dude, I don't get starstruck for anybody, but I get starstruck for Marino.
Where's your gloves, Curtis? Where's your gloves? You got some
Love
isotoners
me,
over
my
there?
Marino. Oh, man. Marino and Barry. That's maybe John Randall. Well, you know. Anyway, so okay, so what do you think, Mr. Tommy? You think New England?
I think these are two awful teams. 2-8 versus 3-8.
3-8.
Yeah. So, but they're in MetLife Stadium. So you got to take that, I guess, in consideration. I think the Giants are going to win. I didn't hear about Mac Jones starting till now, but either way, even if he does, your offense is, I think, are they the worst right now in the NFL points per game, or is it the Jets right now?
No, it's the Jets.
Okay, you're towards the bottom of the league either way. So is the Giants. Giants have been playing awful. So, and I don't listen. God, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna say, God, this is really tough. I'm gonna say 13-10 Giants.
Better for me.
13.
I would love that, actually. I would love that.
Yeah, because both teams don't score. I think this is going to be – I think both teams offensively are sloppy, are a mess. I think this is going to be like just a boring field goal kind of game. Maybe, touchdown. Each team gets a touchdown and the rest field goals. 13-10, man.
Oh, we lost Trevor, man.
Oh,
and then they would too.
He didn't want to hear that. That's right.
I think Giants' offensive line's terrible. They got a pretty decent defense. I think the Patriots are going to win by 7. I don't know if it's going to be.
You keep picking the Patriots, boy, and I keep telling you.
It's been a while. Actually, I stopped picking them a couple of weeks ago. But this Giants team is terrible. Man. I think it's going to be like
31-27.
I think it's going to be 17. I'll say 17-13, 20-13, something like that.
Low scoring.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Patriots.
There's no way that. Yeah, I can't see that game going past. Like, I can't see any team scoring more than 20 points, 21 points. I can't see it.
JNC's got 31-27 Giants. Woo. Dable can sometimes
both quarterbacks
do some
go
good
nuts
stuff once in a while.
Right, DeVito and Mac Jones has a shootout.
And look at this. Look at Roy Jones. Dable goes from coach of the year to joke of the year. That is true. Oh wait, is he here? Oh, there he is.
All right.
Yeah. There you go.
He's back. Back.
I thought you were upset.
No. Actually,
chose
no.
Tommy DeVito.
No, I seen the comment that someone said 31-27 Giants. The Giants haven't scored 30 points in like 6 years. Like, I don't know how to go score points.
And the Patriots haven't scored 27 since they beat the Buffalo Bills.
You're right. So again, this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna be awful. But again, I don't know. My score for this game is going to be like, I think we're going to win the game. I don't want us to win the game. I think we are. I think 14-10 New England.
Yeah, everyone's kind of got in that range. I overinflated you maybe a little bit. All right, so I said 17 to 20 points you guys are going to put on, but I might be my dog is going crazy. Sorry. I had to mute that one. Anyway, all right, let's get into the true game of the week. I'm very excited to see this Bills-Eagles game. I'm actually going to cover it with a podcast because it's really – if the Bills somehow pull it off, it's going to be a huge boost for them. if they don't, I don't think it's a death sentence. They're just going to have to beat the KC the week after that, and then they're going to have to beat Dallas. I think that if they could beat the Eagles, it gives them a little wiggle room. I don't know if they can. I don't know how Brady's going to handle it. Yeah, I mean, this team, that front is ferocious. And, you know, Allen could take some hits on this. They brought the guy over, was a Byard from the Titans. So they're shored up their secondary a little bit. And I think I like the Bills, but they're missing some guys on defense. Who are they missing this week, Tommy?
So Taylor Rapp's not playing.
That's right, yeah. And then Johnson, right?
Dane Jackson. No, Teron
Jackson.
Playing, which is huge. So, like, if we're going to miss anyone, like, those two I'm cool with. You know, it still sucks that they're you know, obviously they contribute to the game, but they're more of depth and, you know, rotational. But Teron Johnson's on the field, I think, more than any other defender, like 97% of the snaps, something crazy. So, yeah, him being back is huge for us. So, but yeah, that's the only main guy that's going to be out.
Eagles' offense is atrocious. They get by on pure talent and offensive line, and it hurts the ability to move and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, what's your score? What's your take on this Bills-Eagles game?
I do believe that, again, I'm going with the Eagles, but like you mentioned before, I don't think it'll be the death blow for Buffalo. I don't think it will be. I think that they can still – it won't hurt them too much as far as the schedule is concerned, because I'm spoiler alert, I have them winning the table after this game. Anyway, I think they finished 11-6 and win the division 11-6. And that's my opinion. So I don't think this loss with them hurts them too much. I haven't been, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Eagles games because, you know, I have Jalen Hurts and who's the other guy? AJ Brown, my fantasy team. So I've been watching them a lot. So, honestly speaking, again, they've been getting by on just pure talent, regardless, because Jalen Hurts has been also not playing as well as before, turning the ball over a lot, and just so it hasn't really been convincing. Like for instance, they're 8-1, they're 81-91, but it took a while for them to really get going, as far as like, all right, fine, this is a legit Super Bowl contender. I think, you know what I'm saying? So I think they'll win this game against Buffalo. I think Buffalo will make it close, but I think that who has the best, I think whoever has the ball. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put it together. I'm sorry about that. Basically, it's all about who's able to control the ball, you know, move the ball, and time of possession, I think, will decide the game. I think Philly will just squeak it out by a 4-point win. I think 24-20.
24-20. I think it's going to be a little bit low scoring. I think it's going to be in the 20s area between these two teams. They both got good defenses, and I think it's just but neither one of them have proven to be like great at putting points on. They struggle at times. I like that 20 to 30 range with a few point difference between two teams. Here we go. Tommy mentioned this earlier. Isabella actually brought up in the practice squad. Wonder how Brady will use him. Tommy, since you are a wannabe Dolphins fan, but you're actually a Bills fan, talk about what Roy is saying here. You brought this up earlier too.
So it's interesting what they're doing with Isabella, who's, by the way, this will be the first game that he's played in the regular season. So there's not a lot of film on him as far as, like, you know, what the Eagles will watch on Isabella. Really, there's no film except for when he played for Arizona. So what I liked last week, what they did against the Jets, was getting other players involved. And I think Isabella will be one of those players this week, or a decoy. I mean, he's going to, if they're calling Isabella up to the 53, he's going to be used here and there on offense. He's going to be somewhat.
Isn't he like a special teams guy too? Catches punts.
He is. He was a punt returner, kick returner, but he has electric speed. He ran a 4.3 at the combine. He's a track guy. He was a second-round pick of the Cardinals. He just obviously didn't work out there. But man, he was electric in college. He was one of the better receivers coming out in 2019. But like I said, do I expect him to be, oh my God, he's going to be amazing against the Eagles? No, but Joe Brady's going to find a way to probably use him. because the Eagles are going to, just like every defense is going to, they're going to pinpoint their direction at Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid. So guys like Andy Isabella, guys like Ty Johnson, Khalil Shakir are going to be used more in this Bills offense. That's the one thing about Ken Dorsey. He didn't understand how to use player strengths. He just didn't know how to get players involved in the offense, the new guys we got. So I expect Isabella to be on the field. How many snaps will he get? I don't know. But either way, this game, man, I think it's going to be 34-24. I think Buffalo's going to win that game.
And Nicky G's on with you, man. He says 34-21.
Yeah, I think. Listen,
or 28-24.
The Eagles are a good team, but I gotta say, they're also, I believe, they're 28th in pass defense. They're not very good at pass defense. They're also number 1 against rush. They're number 1 rush defense. So, listen, we are more of a pass-heavy team. We are going to continue to run the ball. I think Joe Brady's going to continue to mix that in, but I do expect Josh Allen to have a good game here. There's no reason why this Bills offense shouldn't have a good game against the 28th ranked pass defense. Now, they're a well-rounded team. This isn't the Jets. They're going to score some points on our defense. But if you look at our games, man, our defense, even missing key guys, have been in every game. We haven't been blown out. Teams aren't scoring 40 points on us. You got to respect the Bills' defense for what they've done up to this point. They kept the offense in every single game. Like they've given the offense an opportunity to win the game. So I think they'll do the same against the Eagles. And look at the Eagles. They played the Jets. They lost because the Jets put pressure on them. They blitzed. They got Jalen Hurts out of his game plan. Jalen Hurts had 3 interceptions that game. They did not look good. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, he's dealing with an injury. He's not the same type of mobile quarterback as he was last year.
That's a big point. That's a big point, Tommy.
He's been struggling all year, and you could kind of tell he doesn't want to move around much. Like he doesn't want to have to take off because of that injury. It slowed him down. So I'm telling you guys, put pressure on him, which the Bills will do. By the way, Leonard Floyd, what an excellent pickup. 9.5 sacks. We still got 6 games left. He's on pace to get 13, 14 sacks. That's a great pickup, guys, because Von Miller's not 100% back yet. So that guy there, I'm going to tell you right now, Leonard Floyd, if he gets 13, 14, he's going to get paid somewhere. He really is, man. That's 4 years in a row now that he's gotten over 9.5 sacks. That's excellent. You can't ask for better than that. And by the way, Von Miller, he's going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on. So
are you guys going to have enough money to re-sign him?
Floyd, you know what? It all depends on what he thinks his value is at his age and what teams are willing to pay him. If he feels like there's a market out there to get paid and some team's willing to give him good money.
Isn't Rousseau an free agent too?
No. Rousseau, first round draft pick. We drafted him.
You got the tag. You got a long ways to go.
We got him a little while. Yeah. But we do need defensive tackles, by the way. Like we do have a lot of work to do in the offseason because a lot of guys are leaving. But listen, Ed Oliver, by the way, has been a beast. He was a beast in that Jets game.
Yeah.
Floyd was a beast in that Jets game. Terrell Bernard's been playing really, really good football. So I expect this defense to get at it, man. I do. I don't think the Eagles are going to just run all over us. I don't see that happening. Once again, I'll say it like I said last week. It all depends how our offense goes. If our offense plays at a high level like they did last week, or at least, midway through that game, we have an opportunity to beat the Eagles. And if we beat the Eagles, who are the best team right now in football, watch out. I think the Bills can go on a roll there. They're also on a bye week right after, get a little healthier. We play the Chiefs right after that. They could definitely go on a roll, and that's a huge momentum. That's huge momentum if you beat the Eagles. In Philadelphia, you're talking about getting your mojo back, your confidence back. That's huge, man. That's huge.
To me, with the Bills, I know you and I keep going back and forth. It's not just the run. It's the balance. When you can have balance and you're not able to tee off on Josh 100%. Allen, you're not able to play that umbrella coverage, he becomes extremely difficult to stop and a huge problem. And so for me, it's like I liked last week what I saw from you guys with the Jets. To a certain extent, I want to see more of that under center. I love the continually feeding of the football, even though it was draws and stuff. Although there was some little changes in the draws that I didn't get a chance to really speak about. It wasn't straight what you saw. Here's an Owen. Yeah, Joe. Rasul Douglas.
I didn't even mention that. That was 2 picks last week and a fumble recovery.
Yeah,
that was a much needed addition. Smart trade. That guy's a ball hawk, and that's something we really needed to go on this defense. But Curtis, no, I don't disagree with the running. I think I've always agreed that we have to have you have to run the ball, even if you're not having a good game average wise. It keeps the defense honest, and then that's when play action passes can open up.
Yeah, and he's so deadly. That's the whole thing. Is he is. To me, I don't think Josh Allen has reached his final form. I thought stage 1 was 2020 because teams were blitzing him, and he was able to destroy that blitz. But then as they pulled off into that zone coverage and you weren't able to break it with the run, it showed that there was limitations into that. The final form for me is that balance between shotgun, under center, running the football, and play action. And if you can get that going, I don't see how you I don't say that like, hey, this team can't have a major run. You beat the Eagles, and it's a huge boost for you guys. But to me, more important than beating the Eagles, it's how you approach the Eagles game. Because if you do the things the right way, you'll get the right results in time.
Absolutely.
So to me, it's a very intriguing game. I've been ever since I met you, I did my little podcast over, but then I've studied Allen and the Bills for a couple of years. It's the only team other than the Dolphins I've ever actually studied. And so for me, this is like a highly intriguing from like a football science standpoint of what happens this week. This is the second week of Brady calling things. It was going to be very, very interesting. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull it off. Part of me says this Eagles team is clunky, but I've seen the Bills be clunky too. I like your secondary and being able to see. The thing is with the Eagles, they're like you guys used to be. I think Hurts is suffering for the same reasons that Allen's suffering. All the draws, all the shotguns. Everybody knows those keys. Everybody knows those reads. They can't get real legitimate run action going. And part of me wants to say the Bills are going to win because of that, because I think your front is going to be able to slow them down. But I just worry about that front getting after Allen and tagging him. Because I'm a Dolphins fan and I'm hopeful for my Dolphins. I'll say I like Yuki. Yuki had a good one, 28-24 Eagles. But I could see it going the other way. I could see it going the other way because to me, just exactly the problems I saw with Allen, I'm seeing with Hurts. That perpetual from shotgun draws. It's so predictable and tiring.
Yeah, you got to listen. Our offensive line has to play one of their better games. This season against that defense, that line. Like they're going to bring it. You got to keep Allen protected. You also got to run block a little better because, like I said, their run defense is top tier, man. They're going to get after you. So hopefully our offensive line steps up to the plate. By the way, our offensive line, Curtis, unbelievable. Week 12,
Hammer's got a question for you, brother.
Yeah. Real quick though, week 12, no changes. That's unheard of for one in the NFL. That's tough to go through 12 weeks with no injuries, nothing. So we're in week 12.
I didn't even realize that.
That's really, guys, knock on wood, because that doesn't happen a lot, and especially for the Buffalo Bills offense. So I'm happy to see this offensive line finally staying healthy for one, and two, doing their job. Like, they're not great, but I feel like they're playing much better. All right, Hammer, Tommy, where do you think your weekend points on the OL, and is there any weakest points on the OL? Okay, so listen, Spencer Brown, who was the weakest link going into the season, has actually been playing really good football. I told you guys, and I told a lot of Bills Mafia, who was really tough on Spencer Brown, that he had an off season now where he can actually practice, get with Aaron Cromer. By the way, Cromer, I kept telling you guys about Cromer, one of the better offensive line coaches in the league. And then he got to play preseason. This is the first year that he got to actually do all that stuff. And you could see it on the field now. You could see that he actually is getting better because he got that opportunity, the one-on-one with the coach, and then that playing time in preseason. So right now, I would say our weakest link right now, I would say, I don't even know link. I would say McGovern is going to have a tough game here. I forgot the guy's name that's lined up across from him for the Eagles, but man, I would say McGovern is maybe our weakest link, but he's still pretty damn good. But he's streaky. But Deion Dawkins, Pro Bowl type of left tackle. Mitch Morse is starting to decline a little bit, but he's still playing at a decent level. And then Osiris Torrance. Man, Osiris Torrance is, I'm telling you guys, man, when as the seasons go on, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. Like I really feel that way, man, about Osiris Torrance. Once he gets it down, everything, he's going to be one of the better guards in the NFL. And then Spencer Brown, I don't know what his outlook is, but this season right now, Curtis, I would say Spencer Brown is probably I would say the most improved player on this team. If there's awards that were given out, I would say Spencer Brown deserves that right now through week 12.
All right, cool. I got a Miami kid, Jay. Curtis, what's your assessment of Eichenberg? I thought he was done, but the man's been playing well, surprisingly. It's a long, really understanding that any performance on the offensive line has a series of factors. So for, say, Eichenberg, he's played right guard for the last 2 games. And if you watch, it's always basically Connor sliding right, moving right, protection's usually right. A lot of the action is going left. They're doing, from what it seems to me is you have Teron blocking alone. You're kind of letting Cotton be the guy more often than not that's blocking on his own in the pass game. And then you're creating this framework to the right. So people were saying, oh, Jackson's, Pro Bowl top 5. But if you look at Jackson this week, he struggled very, very much. He had a very poor game. You look, people like to use Pro Football Focus and they'll say, whatever. You go look at what he did. He gave up a sack. He gave up only 1 pressure, but we got the ball at 2.17 seconds. And he struggled when he got isolated. And so we the last 2 games we played, there was no offense. It was kind of like an incomplete defense last week. It was a good defense this week, but they got worn out. I don't think he's playing terrible because they're protecting him. The point is when you have an offensive line, is like when this guy has to stand on his own, what does he do? And will that compromise the whole thing? I think Eichenberg still struggles with power. I think he could be serviceable at times in the right framework. When you got a guy like Teron, then you can move that protection down the line of scrimmage. So for me, I think he's like your 8th or 9th guy at this stage. It's not Cotton's not a guy I would have gone into the season with. Eichenberg would have been a back end guy, and so I think you got to watch these last couple of games because you can look at Eichenberg in these isolated moments and say, okay, and you can look at Jackson, but then you saw Jackson struggle this week. What if we had an offense that we were going against? This last series of games plus the postseason, hopefully, is going to tell the tale on everything. So he's going to be a guy going forward. I'm not high on him. I think you spent a 2nd and 3rd round on him. You can't change that. There's lots of other guys we could have drafted, but I think that in what you've seen so far, has been a lot of face paint on a crack whore, but I don't think he's as much a crack whore as he was. He's maybe taken a step forward, but I don't know if that's enough. I need to see more from the guy. So that would be my take. He's going to be a guy for us. I think Hunt's going to come back, and they're going to keep Cotton at left guard and put him on the bench. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes going forward. But I just need to see more.
So
anyway.
Yuki wanted to know how I grew up in Florida, but became a Bills fan. So real quick, my family's from up north, from Michigan. That's where I'm at right now, actually. I live in Detroit. So my family's, from Detroit. But I grew up in South Florida. They wound up moving to South Florida. And I was already a, Pistons fan, Tigers fan. And then when I started watching football or got into it, it was because my mom's boyfriend was watching the playoffs and the Bills were playing the Browns in 1989. And I just got infatuated with the Bills. I love what they were doing. I loved Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and stories from there. That's it. So I'm a Hurricanes fan, though. Other than that, I hate all South Florida teams. So that's all.
But you did like Dan Marino.
I give him credit. I give him respect. I think he's the best pure passer I've ever seen. Like purest passer I've ever seen. If I had to rate,
you could keep coming on the show, Tommy. You keep coming on the show.
Because I watched them year in, year out. Now, mind you, Dolphins fans hate the Bills because the Bills always knocked the Dolphins out in the early 90s and stopped them from getting to the Super Bowl.
I had PTSD over that, man.
Which was wonderful. But Dan Marino was an absolute dog. He was a beast. Like I said, man, for me, Tom Brady, and I hate saying it, is the greatest of all time just in overall football, what he's done. But Dan Marino, quarterback-wise, I think he's the best pure passer ever. I mean,
I always knew I liked you, Tommy. Despite you bleeding blue and red, man, you're all right in my book.
Whatever.
All right. So Trevor, you've been sitting here for a while. Is there any masterpieces that you need to talk about that you want to say anything that's going on with this Eagles Bills game, or talk about Dan Marino? Whatever you want to talk about.
Pretty much. I said earlier. I do think that, again, I want to see what Joe Brady can do. As far as against this defense. But I still think that Philadelphia should win this game. But again, I can say it again. I think someone said in the chat that if the Bills lose this game, they lose the division. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not too sure about that. I think the schedule favors them a little bit.
It makes it very, very tough.
It's very hard.
I will say that.
It's very hard, but
I would say the Dolphins, the last 3 games, I think is the tough. I agree. Tough stretch for the Dolphins, because the next 2 or 3 are cakewalks. I think that.
But to me, what they are is their body blows. I said that in some of my podcasts. The Raiders, Jets, Commanders,
right?
The Titans, Jets. Those are a series of body blows, right. And then you got Dallas at home, which is going to be extremely tough, and then you got Ravens on the road, and then you set it up for the Bills. So there's a lot of body blows.
100%. I agree with that.
Spin had pretty much said right there. He said the Bills can only afford to lose one game. And I agree. I think this Sunday will be the game that they lose, and then they run the table the rest of the way. Honestly,
except for week 18, right there, Trevor?
No,
right there, Trevor?
I think
right there, Trevor?
I think week 18.
Hey,
Buffalo.
Trevor says week 18 is where it all ends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think after this game, they're on the table afterwards.
Up until week 18. Well, it's been a great time, guys. Glad we're all in agreement there. I think it wraps it up. Do we have to do it? Do we do the Trevor vitriol spewing rant?
One thing I want to say.
Oh, wait. Let me give you. Wait. I got to give you the floor. Hold on. I'm going to give you the floor. Let me hide me. I got to hide.
Okay. So I was watching last week. This rant is going to be for Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley, who is the Los Angeles Chargers head coach. The Chargers lost the game last week to the Packers, a game they had no business losing. So, to be honest, after the press conference, the reporter asked a very, very good question. Shout out to the reporters for asking good questions. She asked him, Mr. Staley, are you going to continue? Are you going to give the play calling for defense to somebody else, because you're one of the worst defenses in the league when you call them, and defensive plays are a specialty, which is true. It's true. He goes on a mega rant, crying like a bitch. So about stop asking me that question. I'm gonna call defensive plays because that's what I do. Well, guess what? The defense is terrible. And first of all, Emily laughing is like, why are you crying for? You're upset because the reporter asked a valid question. You are a terrible head coach. They are losing because of you. And the fact that you're still an NFL coach is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now again, I did come at Justin Herbert early in the year. I do think he's a bit overrated, but come on. He's doing the best he can. This roster is way too talented to be 4-6. It's terrible. It's awful. Like you have a stud at quarterback and you're failing him. You're failing him because you're so inept at calling defenses. I don't understand how you a defensive guru and defense is one of the worst in the league. Yeah, I get it. You lost Joey Bosa. I get it. But still, even when he was playing, y'all still worst defenses in the league. Even then, and he constantly coaches himself out of games. So he started crying like a little girl, and I was like, you know what? Good. I love it. I mean, the Spano family should fire him. They probably won't because of the charges, but he is a shit coach. He is awful. Like, what's going on here? Like, this is bad. But that's my rant. How dare you get mad at the reporter for doing her job because you won't do yours? I'm done.
I'm going to keep you at the top. Oh, I was going to keep you at the top, but I clicked the wrong button. Nice. Yeah, Staley's terrible. After I watched him play the Dolphins week 1 and what he was calling was like mind-boggling. This guy is total. He needs to be fired. Week 1, I said this guy needs to be fired. So I'm in total agreement. All right, guys. It's time for me to go ahead with the family and watch some movie nights. Thank you, Tommy. You're the best. You're like my brother. Trevor, you're a great guy, man, without a doubt. Jedi Kev is awesome. He created the intro. I love the intro. I really do enjoy doing this. Thank you for Tommy for pulling me into this live stuff. I hated it. I hate the camera, but I really enjoy talking football. And thank you most of all for all the people who showed up, putting those comments, putting your thoughts, putting your time, and dealing with us here and helping us out to have a great show. I appreciate it. You guys are absolutely the best. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Catch you next week. Oh, wait. We're Tommy's next week, right? Over at Mafia Sports Report?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Hasta
Go
la
Bills.
vista. Go Dolphins!
Go Bills!